So I want to make a really quick mini video. I have found that often when you buy screws like this from a hardware store, they're really expensive and sometimes they're no good. I mean, literally, I buy some that won't drill through metal. It'll actually dull the blade, and the blade will get hot and start smoking. So I thought, well, I'll just give some of those Amazon screws a chance, because I ordered some other nuts and bolts the other day. So I did. I bought this whole box. I don't remember the price. I'm going to look it up, but it's not very much. There's 100 of them in there. I just did a test screw into that wall, and it went fairly quickly. It drilled the hole just like it was supposed to, and it worked well. So I just wanted to show you that, because I'm going to find the link that goes with these screws and look up the price and put a link. That way, if you want to get some screws like this, oh, and it comes with one of these handy dandy little heads. See, these things are really handy to have, not only because they fit this, because I'm always losing these, but they have a magnetic holder that does work. Not very well. It may be that these don't have a lot of steel. A lot of times, yeah, it does work. It'll get you started. But anyway, yeah, it comes with a little holder too. So I'll stop talking and get back to work. I'm going to put a board. I'm going to put 2 boards across here to mount that on. And I'll talk more about my placement and why I'm that spot and why I'm using that spot and all that stuff. Let me get these boards up, and then we'll talk some more. This is probably set up to be mounted many ways, but there is a loop, a steel. When I say loop, it makes it sound like it's round, but it's not. But there's a little steel hitch on the back of this, a foot apart, one up here and one down there. So I got these boards and I put them across here. These are old fence boards. They're pretty thin, and one of them had some knots in it, so I braced it with a piece of board behind it, and the same thing up there. And it basically, once you get the hooks on there, you just put it up here. Now, because this has got a little wiggle to it, I think I'm going to put another board up and down behind that just to sturdy it a bit so it doesn't move around. And I'll show you. I'm going to lift it off, and then I'll show you what the hooks look like. These are the hooks that it sets on. I got one here and I got one there. They're 12 inches apart. I'm going to put another board behind this just to strengthen the whole thing up a bit more so it won't move around. This is my Thermomate Smart Touch hot water heater on demand, and this is what the bottom of it looks like. This is where the electrical wires go in. This is where the water pipes connect. Your cold water from your well goes in here. Your hot water comes out here. When you buy this, it will not have these on it. These are 1/2 by 1/2 FNPT female adapters. Now, these specifically are for PEX pipe, and that's PEX pipe laying down there. You may have a different way of adapting, but this will fit either way. There is a rubber seal that comes with this that I put inside of here. There's also a cap. When you buy this, I'll have this little plastic cap on it. And that plastic cap also has a rubber seal, which may be able to be used if you should need another one. I'm going to look quickly at the back of the heater and talk about how it is mounted. You will see these 2 hooks, one right here, one right there. They are 12 inches apart. Now I have set up a place to hang this on the wall, and here's my two hooks. I have one right here, I have one right here. This unit is a EH140, an EH140. The EH140 requires US 6 AWG or larger copper wires, which is what I have here. I have my 60 amp breaker, which this machine requires, and I have my wires as instructed running out of here. The machine is going to sit about here, so the wires are going to come back up into the machine over here. In order to let you see where they're going to connect, I'm going to remove this front panel. There's 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to take those 4 bolts out, and this should lift off, and we'll see hopefully the wire connectors inside of there. By the way, when you mount this, there needs to be space on either side of it, and your instruction manual will tell you how much space. I'm going to turn to that page here and show it to you. This book has information on how to mount several different sizes of heaters. So that's why it looks like there's so many pages, but in reality, you just select whichever heater it is that you're putting up. Now you can see, according to this instruction, this is A and B. The A side needs 12 inches. The B side, which is the top, needs 15 inches, and the bottom gap is just says keep out of reach of children. So basically you want 12 inches on each side and 15 inches on the top, which I have here. I have more than 12 inches on either side. I have more than 15 inches to the top. And I'm setting mine up high because I'm going to place, let me do that again because I'm not sure my camera was at the right angle. I have 12 inches on either side, and I have more than 15 inches on the top, and I have plenty of space here so that no child can reach it. And I mounted mine up so high, I considered mounting it low and putting something like a table over it, but what I really want to do with this is run my pressure washer. So I mounted it high so that I can sit my pressure washer beneath it and then plug it into the power right there, and plug my hose into the line that's going to come out of the hot water pipe. And I will put a T and a shutoff switch on the intake pipe here so that I can drain this unit in the wintertime. They say not to leave this sitting with water in it during the wintertime because, like most everything, if it freezes it can damage the heater. Now I'm going to lift off this front panel. Careful, because this connects to that, which is the light, which lights everything up. So you don't want to do what I did. I didn't realize that was there. But by setting this off of here, you can see that when my power comes in, there's a place to hook this power right here. We're going to have a ground and an L1 and an L2. So that's the 240 volt inlet. The wires will come up through here and it will connect right there. I'm double checking this because this is the ground and I'm following this wire and I can see it's mounted to the side of that. These two are the hot wires and I can see one is mounted here and one is mounted here. So this all looks correct. What I might do is, because of this piece, I was thinking I would hang this on the wall and then run the wires, but I don't want this piece to pull out. So it may be that what I need to do is to disconnect that. And there is a little place where you can mash this, it looks like, and unplug it. So I'm going to try that. Yeah, mash that little button there, and then you can pull that right out. Now I can mount this to the wall and run the wiring and the plumbing and everything, and then put this back on and plug this back in. Now, I mentioned before that I had these little hooks over here, and you should be able to see them right up here. And this should mount just like this. That is all mounted the way it should be. So let's get up here and get a little closer look. Here's my box, here's my wiring. I will bring these wires over into here. I'll hook each one of my breakers. And this says green, but in my case the ground wire is white. So I'll hook my white cable here, and then the black and the red will go here and here. Now I'm going to walk away from this, and then I'm going to come back and show you this once I get that hooked up.